want of helpers or of fit helpers in God's work, prayer has the promise of supply. Prayer has the promise of supply. When there's a need for laborers, prayer has promise of supply. He also says this, how little Christians really feel and mourn the need of laborers in the fields of the world so white to the harvest, and how little they believe that our labor supply depends on prayer, that prayer will really provide as many as he needeth. Not that the dearth of labor is not known or discussed, not that efforts are not sometimes put forth to supply the want, but how little the burden of the sheep wandering without a shepherd is really borne in the faith that the Lord of the harvest will, in answer to prayer, send forth the laborers, and in solemn conviction that without this prayer, fields ready for reaping will be left to perish. And yet so it is. Did you get that last part? That fields that are ready for reaping will be left to perish if we as believers are not praying for laborers. Do we really believe that the answer for the lack of laborers is prayer? That's what Christ is trying to tell us here. Pray ye therefore the Lord of the harvest that he will send forth laborers into his harvest. And the point that Andrew Murray is trying to make in that chapter of that book that I mentioned where he's talking about this passage of Scripture, he's saying that if God's going to send forth laborers, we as believers need to pray. And perhaps there are fields that are ripe for the reaping tonight that have no laborers there, no witness